Buongiorno, sweetissimo.
Hello.
Hiya.
Hi.
When you were little, you must have been about 4 or 5, and you used to wake up before me before the school run, before I had to get you up in the morning when you were at school.
Great times when you felt young and you could get up.
Because you're so old now.
I'm so old
And I
now.
used to come upstairs and you'd already be awake. You'd be sitting at your desk. And without looking at me, you went through a phase of this. And I don't know where it came from.
No, me neither.
Without
Don't ask
even
me.
looking up from what you were doing at your desk, you would say, "You're out, love." Where did that come from?
Was I watching EastEnders or something like
Well,
that?
first of all, EastEnders is the East End of London.
And I've never watched it, so that's why I
You've
got
never
that
wa-
wrong.
Second of all, you've never watched it. I don't know where your northern "all right, love" came from.
You're out,
Anyway,
love.
it used to make me laugh every morning.
Very weird.
But that's by the by. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I did have a very long day at school today with exams, practical exams. In biology, this one, I've got my chemistry one on Thursday, which is going to be crazy. Practical exams, and it was so weird because I had to obviously revise everything that we've been doing in biology. And throughout the whole time I've been revising, I was thinking to myself,
What's it going to be?
I feel like it's going to be on plants. It's going to be, because we'd done plants right at the beginning of the year, hybridizing plants, how we made them, kind of domesticated them, wild ones. And so I thought, it's going to be on plants. And I walked into the room and I had to pick a random number, picked number 1, and that was on plants. So I did my practical exam on plants.
Perfect.
On stomata.
Yeah.
And it was really, really fun to do.
Couldn't have been more perfect, could it?
Yeah, it couldn't be more perfect. Bar the fact that I sat down and then the teacher came over to me and she said, haven't you forgotten something? I'd forgotten to put on my gloves, my goggles and my mask.
So all the safety equipment, because then plants is dangerous.
Apparently the plants are dangerous.
Yeah.
So I had to put all of that on when it was a peace lily.
And meanwhile, this weekend I was weeding happily without any gloves and picking up bunches of nettles.
I watched you
Because
pick
it's
up this
good for you.
bunch.
Do you remember Francis talked about it, how good it is for you?
Yeah, and arthritis, and there's nettle creams and
Yeah.
everything. We know about nettles being great.
I think it's good for neuropathy. I don't have any of those things, but if it's
No.
good for you, I'll do it.
Yeah, I did watch you pick up this whole bunch of nettles and you just looked at me in the greenhouse with a big smile on your face going, look, at the root system. And I was like, great root system.
Well, so my jobs for the weekend were
Yes.
weeding the veg garden. That was a job that really needs to be done. We've got a lot of that, what do you call it, milkweed?
Milkweed, but I don't think it's milkweed.
I don't think it's milkweed.
It's sticky
that
weed.
one that sticks to you,
Sticky
which comes up really easily. But that seemed to have really taken over. But I discovered a whole load of rainbow chard, having taken it all up, which we forgot existed.
That was amazing when you told me that. I'm really looking forward to having the rainbow chard again.
That's yummy.
Yeah.
So took up all the weeds from the paths and from the beds in the veg garden. That felt really good. And then I weeded the gravel terrace.
Yeah.
I sat on the gravel and I weeded because we're getting thousands of these tiny little weeds that are coming through, seedlings.
Easy
and
to
we
get
know
up.
what they are. They're the Japanese balsam, so not the Himalayan balsam, which is the worrying one, but the Japanese balsam, which is a very similar flower, but it's not half as invasive. But it does like our gravel, and we like it in areas of our gravel because we're trying to make a gravel garden.
Yeah.
So I basically tidied up where all those are going to be.
Oh, that's nice.
And because they give a purple and pink flower for a very long season,
yeah, they
don't
do.
they? Regardless of how much drought we have. So those are all in the places they're meant to be. I've cleared it away from everywhere else. And then
I've got Verbena bonariensis, which is also going to flower this weekend in the cottage garden, gravel garden area, which I think is just
that's going to flower this weekend.
this weekend.
That's quite
sure.
precise.
No, this year. Sorry. It's going to be flowering this year, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to look amazing.
Do you remember Liz from New Hope Daylilies? She was saying how easily it spreads. Liz and Fiona both mentioned how it just goes for it. So we're hoping it does.
I hope so.
And then another job that we didn't do but did have someone do for us is finally connecting up our 1,000 litre water butt. So we've already got 1,000 litre water butt, which sits above the veg garden. That feeds that.
Yeah.
And then we have this other one, which is actually now attached to the downpipe outside your bedroom.
Great.
And that goes into a 500 litre water tank. And then from the water tank to the 1,000 litre one is a little pipe that they've put in.
Nice.
So that's the overflow. And then they've done an overflow from the 1,000 litre one that goes back into the downpipe. So
brilliant.
it contains all the water, but allows us to collect 1,500 litres of water if we have a drought this summer.
That would be really, really useful.
And then the final job I did was potting up all our dahlia tubers.
The tubers. That was a huge amount of pots because you'd bought a whole load of different collarette dahlias and some other cactus.
Got some really bright cactus ones. So over a period of time, I just kept buying another one and another one.
It was mad. It was
so
really
20,
fun.
I think, in the end. 20 of those and 4 canners. First time we're doing those. It'd be good to see how they turn out.
Fingers crossed.
And what have you been up to?
Well, I also was very busy, as well as revising like hick. I had a huge amount of potting up of tiny little plug plants because I had all my little kind of sacks, you know, your little koi pellets that you blow up in the sacks, and alareca with water, and then they soak up nicely with water and you can put in seeds. I also use them for cuttings, also because they're great with cuttings. Anyway, so as soon as I saw the aerial roots coming out, thought, bingo, right, they need potting up. Because what is quite interesting is that many people, they will do like a whole, and I do this as well, you do a whole tray full of seeds and then you prick them out and you say, oh, it's when you get the first true leaves.
Yeah.
And with this, I'm not looking at the leaves, I'm purely looking at the roots. So many of them didn't have their first true leaves, but because the roots were coming out, they were ready to pot on. So I then immediately potted them on into bigger pots, and then those pots will then immediately go into the ground once they're big enough. So I'm really looking forward to it.
But what was it that you were doing?
Well, I was doing my aubergines, sweet peppers and tomatoes.
A lot of tomatoes.
Because I thought I am not going to have any kind of drought of tomatoes. I'm not going to not have any tomatoes this year.
We're going for it.
Exactly.
Again. Can't wait.
I know.
Well, some housekeeping from last week. You remember the railway cottages last week?
Yes,
with all the front gardens.
Yeah.
And we were wondering, I think it was in Mike's garden, and how he had a kiwi climbing up the front of the house.
Yeah.
And we were wondering, I thought, oh, it meant to, like hippos, it's meant to be 2 females and 1 male.
Oh.
Well, anyway, you can either get male or female ones, or you can also get self-fertile ones.
Oh, great.
So you actually don't need to worry about your hippos at all.
Okay, that's always good.
And then the other thing was, do you remember those pigeons eating the crocuses at East Lambrook Manor Gardens last week? And we were wondering what that was all about.
That was weird.
There is a New Scientist article. I'll put a link to it.
I like New Scientist.
In the podcast notes. But they say no one knows for certain why they do it, but it is thought they may be eating the crocus stigmas, which contain saffron, which is it's got high levels of vitamin A in them. And also, do you remember I said about broccoli recipes, because we've still got a huge glass of purple sprouting broccoli?
Yes, a huge glass.
We're getting through. And some of them are flowering now, aren't they?
They are, which I am also leaving to get some good seed, because they were really good seeds.
Could market those.
We could.
I think we could.
They could be like given
make our million sweet pea from those purple sprouting broccoli.
Yeah, we could give them to the king. Go, here you go.
Present him with our broccoli.
Anyway, broccoli.
I mentioned about recipes, and 2 people got in contact to give some recipes. Yeah, it was really lovely. And one was, her name's Kelly Schwartz. I think I say this right, from Racine in Wisconsin, US.
Oh.
And she's given a great one, actually. She sent me a link, and it's kind of a roasted broccoli recipe. With lots of different things that you add to it. It looks delicious. Haven't tried it yet, but looks amazing.
Oh, yummy.
So thank you very much to you, Kelly. And also Deb Jenkins from Leicester, and she said, of course, broccoli cheese instead of cauliflower cheese.
Oh.
Just pack it out with all your broccoli.
Broccoli cheese.
You can't go wrong with broccoli cheese.
That sounds really good.
Yum. Lots of green.
Green heaven.
And then just one other final thing I wanted to mention before
Wowzers.
we recap this episode of Garden as Well.
Nice.
Do you remember Mandy from Incredible Vegetables?
Of course I do.
She has a fantastic 3-page spread in The Garden in the RHS, which is the RHS magazine.
No way.
All about her incredible vegetables.
Brilliant. I need to read that.
Yeah, it looks really good. I can show you.
Yeah.
I haven't got a copy of The Garden, but I can show you what the 3-page spread looks like. So well done to Mandy. That's a really interesting read. So before we crack on, fun facts.
Absolutely. You first this time.
Oh, okay. My turn. Mine's
Your
a quick
turn.
one. Did you know that scorpions can hold their breath underwater for over a week?
Over a week. That is absolutely incredible.
That is. It's a useful thing to know. I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point.
If you were to become Scorpion Woman, I could then dive in underwater, so you wouldn't have to be Dolphin Woman. You could be Scorpion
Woman.
Woman.
I have no idea where this has come from. Is Scorpion Woman a superhero?
No, but
Just
you
one
should.
you're making up.
Yeah, exactly. You should be Scorpion Woman.
Just so you can hold your breath for over a week.
Exactly.
Anyway, what's yours?
My fun fact is we love whodunits, don't we?
Oh, I love whodunits.
Who's the best at the whodunits?
Agatha Christie.
Read so many Agatha Christie books, watched pretty much every single
Love
Agatha
them.
Christie.
Yeah.
Loved them. I think people who don't like them, you guys are mad and you should love them.
Let's not
Don't
judge.
worry, you
Sweetie.
don't have to. I'm not
No.
judging.
No, should or shouldn't.
But she is a really keen gardener, was a really keen gardener.
Oh, right.
And she knew her plant poisons extremely well. And some which were more or less obvious, so she knew them amazingly. She did train during the First World War as an apothecary assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So she was working in pharmaceuticals, so knew all of these different ingredients really well. So I'm just going to talk about a few different ones. Now, obviously, we know about cyanide, which is like one that she uses in so many of her novels.
Mm-hmm.
That is produced in fruit stones, so peaches, nectarines, and other of the prunus genus.
Is that the one that smells like almonds?
Yes, which is why it's absolutely great to put in an almond cake.
Oh,
for
right.
example.
Or marzipan.
Or marzipan, which is used a lot. Then that bitter taste can be concealed in a jar of marmalade, in a pocket full of rye, which is another one of her books. Also, it's been made into a film. So that is one that we need to watch, Pocket Full of Rye. Because I don't think we've seen it. But now we know that it's concealed in the marmalade. So check the marmalade whilst we're watching the film.
Is that not a spoiler alert?
No, that's not a spoiler alert. I wouldn't have done it if it was a spoiler alert. Then obviously digitalin, which is found in foxgloves.
Oh, yeah.
That has been used in 4 of her books.
Wow.
Yeah, she uses so many of these amazing plants.
Well, you would if she learnt all about that. That's such a... Because it's such an under-the-radar way of poisoning somebody.
Oh, there are loads. And like oleander, that's one where if you burn it underneath the open window of someone sleeping, the vapours kill them and leaves no trace. Then also there's coniine, I hope I said that correctly, which is a poison from hemlock, which she also has used. Yellow jasmine extracts, poisonous. And aconite from monkshood, but I think everybody knows that monkshood is extremely poisonous.
Yeah. Gosh, it's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I think plants are amazing. The beauty and then the poisonous, slightly deadly Dark side.
Right, well, on that happy note...
Exactly.
Shall we crack on with this episode?
Absolutely.
So, this is Garden as Well 2025, Episode 3 Recap.
Off we go.
We're with Ned and Monty at Longmeadow, and Monty appears to have acquired a garden centre trolley.
Yes, he has.
Where did he get that from?
Do you think he just walked out of the garden centre going,
walking.
I am Montyed on, I'm Montyed on.
This is my garden centre trolley.
Exactly.
And it's full of pots with tulips, and he's putting them in pots this year rather than in borders because of their need for good drainage.
Exactly. Protecting from the huge amount of rain, which can cause a lot of problems for tulips.
Yeah, and they get a lot of soggy earth ground there, don't they?
Yeah.
All the flooding.
Huge amount of rain.
We have a weird load of tulips, and I've taken some photos. I'll put it on our Instagram page. But they're really interesting. If anyone knows what they are, Or I'll see if I can find out what they are.
Which ones?
They're these ones that... So all our tulips are naturalised, so they're all in amongst the grass. And then there are these bright red ones which have no stem whatsoever, and they just sit like little stars right on the ground. Bright red stars.
Oh, those ones, they're really weird.
They're weird, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they obviously weren't what I expected.
No.
Because I wouldn't have planted them there.
No.
But they actually look quite nice in amongst the grass.
They do look really pretty, and they're like these perfect stars.
And there are loads of them.
We also have tulips in pots, a lot like Monty's actually. We've decided to try some creamy-ish terracotta and
ones.
some darker terracotta, and then move them around the place to make different displays. So fingers crossed they will look amazing.
Because he talks about the pastel colours in the cottage garden, doesn't he?
Pinks, the yellows, all those lovely
beautiful
ones. Yeah. And I liked, you talked about this last week, the rose prunings on the tulips to cover them. I like that. It's really good.
It's such a good idea, isn't it?
And then he went over to the jewel garden, which he talked about having been around for the last 28 years, talked a bit about what happened. The best bit about this for me was understanding that Monty makes mistakes, just like anyone else. And that his garden, which looks absolutely stunning now, and obviously it's going through a revamp, so there's obviously less to look at in the jewel garden at the moment. But he showed this field. Then he showed yew hedging circle. He decided to make a circular garden, which, interestingly, he said I immediately knew it was wrong.
He knew instinctively it wasn't the right thing, didn't he?
Exactly. But I was thinking to myself, I probably would have done that. I would have gone, let's try and make some geometrical shapes or whatever. And then I think it was so interesting for him to then go, actually, no, we're going to make a themed garden. He was a jeweller beforehand. Let's have all these vibrant colours.
He and his wife, I think.
He and his wife, sorry. Let's have all these flashy, beautiful amethyst, ruby, sapphire colours booming out.
And thus the jewel garden was born.
Thus the jewel garden. And we want to try and make a mini jewel garden here as well.
Yeah.
Because we love those colours.
He does say at one point, and I thought, he said, you should have a theme when making a garden. I was thinking, could that be where we've gone wrong? There's zero theme at all. It's just throw that in here, throw that in there.
I think our garden will get to that Monty stage.
Do you? Oh my gosh, that's music to my ears, sweet pea.
Because we're learning.
Is this before or after you move out?
Oh, definitely after.
Oh.
I mean, I'm hoping that with all the work that I'm putting into it this year, it's going to pop with colour.
I hope so. That would be great.
I hope so. But that's what I loved about this Monty bit in the jewel garden.
And so they've taken everything out. They're starting again.
Exactly.
And kind of rebuilding with a freshness, aren't they?
I look forward to this summer to see our garden and to see his garden as well.
I don't know how you are managing to compare our very rustic and wild hillside to his amazing garden.
I'm just going with all the dahlias that I've sown.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting point in this. He explained about the alliums. So we said last week what's going on. He's just digging up alliums, discarding them, has total disregard, zero respect for his allium sitch.
Yep.
And then he explained that all those green shoots are allium sensation, and there were hundreds and thousands. And he said that actually they grow like a weed. And so that's why he doesn't have any issues with digging those up.
Exactly.
And they were everywhere.
They are everywhere.
But it's not a bad weed to have, is it? It's better than bindweed.
Exactly. But it's like I said, it's like our lamb's ears. We think of it as a weed when actually it's a very nice plant and bees love it.
I would still prefer alliums over lamb's ears.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But can you imagine alliums on a hill? They'd just all start falling over.
Yeah, that's true. Then we go with Nick Bailey. It's the first time we've seen him this year.
Yeah.
To Church Barn near Braintree in Essex.
Yes.
And this is a garden that was designed by Stefano Marinaz.
Oh, that is why you did some... Was
Italiano.
it Italian at the beginning.
Sì.
That's why. I was trying to get my head around it.
And Stefano gives us a tour around this garden. He talks about how it's very sort of naturalistic planting against the backdrop of this big black barn.
Yeah, really interesting, the two together.
And the matrix planting. Did you get the plants that he used predominantly?
He had a lot of plants and a lot of... It was interesting because it was at a certain time of year where there was less kind of pow of colour. and there was lots of different shapes, forms.
Like that hazy autumn light, wasn't it?
Precisely, and lots of kind of burnt colours, which I love.
Yeah.
I think it's just stunning. But the first thing I wrote down, and Nick only came to this near the end, flow mist, exclamation mark.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the page, because I'm now seeing it everywhere.
You're seeing it everywhere since Liz had it as her dream garden
Oh, I
plant.
was seeing it everywhere before that, and when Liz had it as her dream garden plant, I was like, flow mist again.
Yeah. And she described it as a good bird feeder, and that's how Nick described it on this, wasn't it?
Precisely. But the other plants that he had in here, he had grasses, perennials, trees, shrubs, bulbs, lots of successional planting and different layers all over the shop. There was a Prunus lusitanica, which is the Portuguese laurel, really pretty, which was clipped in a fine line like the slats and the kind of wooden cladding of the house, which was really nice, which then kind of wafted away with then the grasses further out and further away from the house with these beautiful kind of feathery grasses.
Well, it was interesting because Stefano told Nick, one of them said how there are around 3,000 perennials in the garden, of which around half are grasses. So that is a, you know, really, that was the point of this segment, wasn't it? It was the matrix planting using the grasses.
Yeah, because Nick said they hold up other plants, which I do find as well. Some of the plants in between, there was Gelenia trifoliata, that's the Bowman's root, also has these beautiful starry white flowers. There was also asters. Asters are lovely because they give a nice kind of power of colour.
They were repeated all the way through, weren't they?
Yeah. An interesting thing also that he said about matrix gardening is you need to have long flowering species in it, which is interesting because obviously we talk about long flowering species for pollinators, so I think that's rather lovely to bring it into the matrix garden.
Yeah, and then he mentions too, there's the old friend and the new friend. Did you get those?
Yeah, there was the Tolbagia violacea, which I've definitely heard of before. I remember hearing it first time going, how do you spell Tolbagia? But it's society garlic, really pretty kind of pale violet colour. And then there's the mountain mint.
This is the new friend.
Yeah, exactly. This has a minty thyme aroma, also called Pycnanthemum muticum, and I did look it up because I thought, I wonder if that would be good in our garden. It is only just drought tolerant, so I don't know how well it would do with us, unfortunately.
Also called the short-toothed mountain mint.
Yes. You can get a hairy variety as well.
Oh, right.
Which is rather sweet.
Then I kept seeing sanguiniums everywhere. Don't think they actually mentioned them, did they?
But yeah, the sanguisorbas.
Sanguisorbas.
I think that's what they call. I'm pretty sure. With the beautiful kind of little
the
red
heads. Tufty heads to the grasses. Yeah,
love those, and they're so frothy and floppy all over the shop.
I'd really love some in our garden.
I would.
We don't have any, do we?
We do not.
But that would really look good.
There are plants which I always see on Gardeners World, and they pop up. So there's Phlomis, there's Sanguisorba. There's a certain salvia that I always see, Salvia amistad, I really want that. All these plants which I think to myself, when I get a garden, these are all the plants that I'm immediately going to go to, because they're the ones that I've always said, I love those, I love them.
And then I also kept seeing butterfly weed seed heads.
Yes, so he then talked about the seed heads, which is when he talked about Phlomis, which I talked about earlier, because that I just saw everywhere.
Yep.
I think Stefano had went Phlomis, just everywhere.
That's what he did.
I'm very happy with that. There was also, he talked about the butterfly weed, which he called Asclepias, or milkweed. There was Limonium, which gave that kind of lavender-ness. There was Euringiums, and then multi-stemmed trees was also really important. Stefano got in there. And he had Cassis siliquestrum, which is the Judas tree. Then there was, crikey, I can't remember how you say this, Colrutaria. There we go. You will not know how to write that, by the way.
No.
Try.
Colrutaria. Oh, in Italian.
I don't know. I added that.
C-O-L-E?
Nope.
C-O-L?
No.
C?
No.
Okay. K?
Yes. I told you this is going to be really hard.
K-H?
No. It's Koelreut area.
Yeah, okay.
So it's the kind of first part, which is weird.
Gosh, if you got that on a Scrabble board, that'd
Yeah.
be a lot of points.
I can just I wrote down underneath it, how would you spell that, Mummy Bear? And then I'm just going to write, didn't do very well.
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. That was all of the plants that I got in Stefano's garden.
Well, this church barn is in a little village called Shalford. Shalford, near Braintree.
Oh.
And it's an 18th century building, which surprised me. It looked a lot more modern than that. It seems quite a common thing in that little village. There seem to be quite a few of these black barns. That sort of jet blackness. And I don't know if you can visit the garden. It looks like it was completed in 2020, and then they had limited tickets to visit it at the end of 2023.
Okay.
With Stefano and his team there being able to talk through the thought process behind the design, the plant choices, that sort of thing. But I don't know if you can visit it now.
I would love to if we can.
So the converted building was originally surrounded by a garden made up of 2 parts. There was a large area behind the house which was laid out as a lawn, and much of the area to the front of the house was taken up by a parking area.
We saw that in the previous photos.
Yeah, and the 2 parts of the garden were originally divided by high brick walls, and it was a big decision to knock one of those walls down.
Gotcha.
And then Stefano substituted it with a fence made from steel. So they kind of retained that sense of enclosure.
Yeah.
Whilst also creating a connection between the 2 parts of the garden.
Lovely.
Anyway, the new arrangement sort of maximised the space at the front of the house, and then they sort of forged a terrace from an area originally used only for parking.
Okay.
And then with the lawn, that's where he replaced it with, this huge amount of perennial planting.
Love it.
And a lot of the meaning behind it was to attract birds and butterflies and all the beneficial insects.
Yeah, of course.
Then in his write-up about it, he used 2 grasses predominantly, the Celslaria autumnalis and the Sporobolus heterolepsis.
Those are 2 grasses I've never heard of.
Yeah, and they kind of dominated it, and they were all part of that matrix planting that he did.
Lovely.
And then he did loads and loads of bulbs, and then, as we know, all those 3,000 perennials. And then I don't think it was mentioned much about all the gravel that was there.
No, that wasn't
mentioned. Which was quite prominent, wasn't it? It reminded me of Alex Mitchell's gravel garden.
It did.
Had that gravel garden vibe, didn't it?
With the wafts, the spikes and the blobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was getting that feel from it when I was seeing it on the screen.
I do love that.
Anyway, so a lot of gravel paths, and they lead to 3 different areas. One's created for sunbathing, one is centred on a fire pit, and then another is kind of a sunny spot conceived for enjoying a morning coffee.
Oh.
And then for the walls of the black barn, Stefano used climbing roses such as Claire Austin, Mortimer Sackler, and the Generous Gardener, which we've heard of a few times before.
Lovely.
Stefano himself, he's got 2 offices. One is in London and the other is in Utrecht in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And he's an Italian chartered landscape architect and agronomist.
Agronomist, crikey.
And he's got an MA in landscape architecture from the University of Greenwich, and he worked as a horticultural intern at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew.
Ooh.
And for Arnie Maynard on a range of gardens in the UK, US and Middle East.
Wowzers.
And when you go to his website, he's got an amazing portfolio. This church barn, that takes up a lot of the photos for the UK.
Oh, of course.
Gardens. He's does a lot in London. But it's beautiful, his website, and all the gardens he's done are just absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
But he talks a bit about where it all came from, his gardening background. And he said that the seeds of my future were planted 70 years ago in northern Italy. So you think, how could that be? Because he's nowhere near 70.
You are not 70, Stefano.
And he said it was when his grandfather opened a nursery, a plant nursery and a shop in Trieste in Italy, selling vegetables, garden tools and seeds.
Yeah.
And so his childhood was spent following his grandfather around and working in the garden and the glass houses and tending to the plants and sowing the seeds. So
oh my God, that's great.
He was surrounded by it all the time. And then his parents inherited his granddad's business. And so with that background, it's no surprise really how he continued with this career in garden design. Anyway, so I'll put a link to his website on the podcast notes and details about Church Barn.
Great. I mean, you can really see where the seed was sown. Sounds like it's bin day with Monty, when we're back with Monty. Did you hear the slight beep of a reversing truck in the background?
No.
I don't know why. I had to rewind this little section a few times and really listen, put the volume really high and go, is that a dumpster truck?
Bin day?
Is it bin day? Yes, I think it possibly was.
I didn't hear that. I didn't have the volume high enough. But Monty was pushing his wheelbarrow around with Ned, wasn't he? He was going through to that patch outside his greenhouse.
I love this patch.
Oh, me too.
He has his own little nursery, which I thought to myself again, and I thought, yes, I need that when I'm older.
Yeah.
I need my own nursery. Because, like, in the greenhouse, I would love to have loads of plants, but I don't have the space and I don't have the pot and compost. But if you just have it in the ground, you just pop all the seedlings in the ground.
But Sweet Pea, we could do that. We'd have to build more raised beds.
Exactly, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, but would it be that bad? It'd be rather nice, wouldn't it? But then also I'd want them for veg beds.
Yeah, and then you...
But we could build endless raised beds.
Oh, we could just turn the whole everything into raised beds. It would be amazing. But anyways, that's not the point. We're getting on to the fact that he has 40 plants in his nursery for Rudbeckia laciniata Herbston, which is precisely why we need to have loads of raised beds.
To have loads of Rudbeckia laciniata Herbston.
Yeah, exactly. And he is going to be planting them in groups of 3. They get really, really tall.
Oh, I'd love that. But you have been doing a lot of Rudbeckia, haven't you?
I have.
And echinacea.
I'm doing teeny weeny little tiny seeds, and I've got like 3 which have come up, and they're so tiny.
Yeah, but that's okay. They got to start somewhere.
Exactly. I'm just hoping that these are going to be huge plants soon.
Acorn, oak tree.
Yeah, exactly. Simple acorn becomes a great oak tree. But back to the point, he also had some delphiniums which were super tall, and he was talking about placing things in borders. So with these Rudbeckia, because they are like humongous, they go nicely at the back of the border or centrally in the border. Whereas the delphiniums, it's the flower spires which are the tall bit.
The foliage, not so much.
Exactly. So when he cuts that down, it becomes something short, so he can put that at the front of the border.
And that's what he was talking about, wasn't he? About heights, colours and symmetry.
And rhythm.
And so thinking about the heights of not just the when you've got your flower, but also the foliage that you have the rest of the year.
I think that's great to take into account.
Yeah.
Because we sometimes forget about the foliage.
Oh, we forget about everything. We just plug it in and hope for the best. But he also then talks about colours, so opposites, yellow and purple being opposites. They kind of, it enhances the colours, doesn't it? Intensifies the colours.
Really does.
And then orange opposite blue. But I love still...
He showed that colour.
Orange and purple next to each other.
Orange and purple are also... It's a proper pow colour.
I love that. It's my favourite colour combination.
I really hope we can get that in the garden this year. Perhaps with oranges. I liked this as well. Structure of hornbeam.
Yes.
Proper nice big domes. And I finally got you
that.
going, oh, yes. So I was like, oh, yes, I'll put that on the shopping list for you.
Oh, hornbeams.
Hornbeams. Okay. Hornbeam balls.
Yeah. They don't have to be balls, do they?
We could have spires, we could have pillars, we could have
Can we just have
stars.
A mass? A hornbeam mass.
Mass, just a blob.
Just a blob.
No way.
Anyway, we then go to Anna May's place in Dorset.
We do.
Now, Anna has a dahlia farm. She says how she bought her first dahlia at a horticultural society locally, and then the next year she had 7, then 300, then 600, then 1,000.
Yeah, the numbers quickly ranked up.
Yeah. And then it was made me laugh when she said how the garden was full, so she asked her husband if she could dig a little patch in the field, and then that patch got bigger and bigger and bigger. Until
it was this huge borders and rows, and it looked amazing.
Yeah. She did say dahlias will grow in most situations. She said when you first pot it up, give it a bit of water to get it going, but don't give it too much. No. Just keep it somewhere bright and away from slugs and snails. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
So I liked the idea of just that initial watering and then not kind of soaking them non-stop after that, which was what I did the first year we did dahlias.
Yes.
They didn't come off too badly as a result of that, but...
They're very good.
The lower maintenance anything is, the better as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, of course. So that's what we're doing with the dahlias that we've potted up now.
Yeah, one water and then we'll leave them. I mean, it depends how much, because we've got sunshine for a long time now.
We need to just keep an eye on them.
Just keep an eye.
I do find it easiest with all these things is when I can see the leaves, I will look after you very well, because as soon as I see the slightest droop, I will check on you.
Yeah.
If I see nothing, I don't know what I'm doing.
Neglect.
I can neglect you easily.
She talks about deadheading being important. She showed her thumbs.
I loved this.
She said they'd just stay like that now because she's constantly nipping heads off.
Yeah, she was very, and I'm going to use the word brutal.
I was uncomfortable with this.
Because it made me want to hide behind a pillow.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because I do like to be brutal. Sometimes, like when I have my salvias, which sprawl everywhere, and I'm just like, you are getting too big. I will chop them right back to little tiny buds, really into that woody stuff, and they flourish. I don't know how they're doing it. So that I love to do, but I watched her cut back the dahlias, and I watched her...
These really healthy looking heads.
Yeah.
Flowers.
So she had a flower. It had this kind of triton of stems where you had one central one. That was the bloom that she liked. She then had two other ones, slightly smaller blooms going off the side, and then obviously you got a single stem carrying going down, which then other stems go off it. She said instead of cutting just that one bloom that you wanted, so the middle one of the triton, she cut all three off on that singular stem, all the way down, so that then she could have a strong shoot with big, powerful flowers instead of some kind of wheezy little flowers coming off if she had cut higher up and more of a floppy plant. So I was interested in that. So I think I might do that depending on how many dahlias we have this year. Because obviously she has a lot to play with, so she can have a bit more fun with that. And she was nipping off all these little tiny buds that she didn't like, so that there was more energy going to the rest of the plant and the other flowers.
Which I'd find really hard to do.
But back on her fingernails, because this was a big thing for me, really big thing for me. You know how at the moment the kind of trend for girls are these fake nails? These kind of plastic ones.
Shellac.
Shellac.
That chemical one.
The one that's like all kind of floppy and then it kind of hardens over your nail.
Oh, I think, is that shellac?
I don't know, but there are so many weird things. Ugh.
But it wrecks your nails.
It really does.
So you might as well wreck your nails deadheading dahlias instead.
Precisely. That wasn't the point I was getting to. The point I was getting to is that I'll go see my friends, and my friends have had the most amazing nails, and I will just come out of the garden. I will be going over for like a sleepover or whatever, and I'll just be like, hello, with really dirty nails.
Oh gosh. Surely you can give them a scrub before you go over.
I do, but they stain like hers. So I was just like, yes, somebody else like me.
And then she mentions about picking dahlias at the right time. She said if you do, you can get 4 to 5 days in the vase. Pick it when it's about 2/3 open. So that's first thing in the morning or in the evening.
Yeah.
And then leave in buckets of water in a cool, dry place first.
Then just some of the dahlias that she talked about. She talked about this pink-white row. She decided to have her borders of different colours. So there's this pink-white row, and she said this is a Dahlia Rosemary Dawn, but actually it should be rosemary blush, because you could see this pinky colour coming on the orange pom-pom. So it was really interesting. You had this orange in the pink-white row border that she had. And
basically doing their own thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was the experiment bed, which she had of seed dahlias that she had from friends, family, or from anywhere she had seen them. And she had this amazing dahlia. I've never seen one like this. And it had these beautiful pink petals, and then it had like this kind of fluffy, smaller pinky petals in the middle. And it was this peachy pink, perfect colour. I looked it up. I tried to Google image it to try and find something like it. I'm pretty sure it's a collarette variety.
Right.
Because of that kind of frilly middle bit. And then I looked up something which was a Dahlia Carestone firebox, but it's not quite, so I was just really interested in that. And then she had finally in her borders as well, so she showed that you can have them in pure beds, you can have them in seed beds, and you can also have them in borders with other things.
In amongst stuff.
Exactly. And she had Dahlia Totally Tangerine. I thought you should add that with Jim Totally Tangerine, and that would look amazing.
A lot of tangerine.
Yeah, exactly. And that was all of the dahlias that she talked about.
Yeah. And I loved it at the end of her segment where she said to think that these all come from something that looks like a grubby little potato.
It's
so true.
Great. They're utterly amazing.
Well, Anna's place is in Bridport, which is West Dorset, and that's sort of halfway between Bournemouth and Exeter on the south coast.
Mm-hmm.
And she has an open day through the NGS on the 7th of September. Pre-booking is essential, and sweet pea, there is cake.
There is cake.
Yeah.
Great.
But something that I found interesting, have you ever heard of muddy stilettos?
No.
Well, muddy stilettos was something that was created back in around 2011. So there was this journalist, lifestyle journalist, Hero Brown, who used to write for The Independent on Sunday, The Observer, there's a magazine called Red, Marie Claire L.
Gotcha.
So quite a prominent journalist. And then she moved out to the sticks from London.
Ooh.
And she thought she set up Muddy Stilettos as kind of a fun way of putting recommendations out there for anything, various things.
Yeah.
And it can be for food, good walks, boutiques, day trips, hotels, interiors, all that kind of thing.
Oh, brilliant.
And so she would check out the best and personally recommend. And now Muddy Stilettos has just become a national thing. So you've got, I don't know if they're franchises, but you've got them over various counties in the UK.
Wow.
And she created a business out of it.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's just one of those amazing stories. They've got 1.2 million monthly fans.
Wow.
And nearly 275,000 subscribers.
That's brilliant.
Just unbelievable. Anyway, Dorset Dahlias is now a finalist as best florist in the Dorset, Somerset and Bristol region.
No way.
So you can vote now. So if everyone were to vote now, she could possibly get to win the finals and win as the best florist.
We need to vote.
Yeah, so I'll put the details of how you can vote on there and a link to the Instagram page for Muddy Stilettos and for Dorset Dahlias, of course. I'll put that all onto our pod description and get voting.
Brilliant. And I need to get down there because I want to pick some dahlias.
Yeah.
And eat cake, of course.
Monty talks about potting up your dahlias now. He says it's too early to put them in the ground, so he gets out of newspaper Honker Black Dahlia, which was beautiful, wasn't it?
Love those ones. Proper chocolatey colour with a yellow.
Very intense colour. And then he said just to check the tubers, make sure they feel plump and firm and get rid of any rotten ones.
Absolutely. And then he was just preparing the ground for broad beans in the veg garden. There was Aqua Dulce, I've done those ones, Red Epicure, and Crimson Flowered as well.
And then he talked a bit about the kind of meditative process of sowing beans. I really loved that. You know, just the sort of slowing everything down. That's the beauty of gardening and the beauty of Gardener's World. I've had a lot of noise last week.
Yeah.
And then to settle down at the end of the week and watch Gardener's World, it just slows it all right down. Takes you to a calmer place, doesn't it?
It's really lovely.
And then we go with the lovely Frances to Bradford.
Yes, we do.
UK City of Culture, they keep making that point.
Yeah.
We went to Wibsey Community Garden, and that sits within a public garden in the city centre, which you wouldn't know.
No.
You wouldn't know you're in, because Bradford's a big city, a busy city. And then within that, you've got this gorgeous community garden, and it's looked after by a team of volunteers. There's 2.6 acres to the site, isn't there? And I think she mentioned they've got 40 active volunteers who come every week.
Yeah, it's a huge space because there's like 3 polytunnels, orchard,
150
apiary.
beds.
Yeah, 150 beds, an apiary, which I didn't know was for bees.
Bees.
Yep, new word I learnt.
And I liked, she was talking to Dan Thistlewood. He's in charge of the fruit and veg and preparing the orders for a local grocer.
Yes.
And his MO is to oversow in the ground and in seed trays and everywhere. Just oversow. Loved that.
Oh, I was like, yes, another person who likes to oversow.
Relatable.
Completely. Like I did 2 aubergine seeds in each of my kind of compost pellets to make sure that at least one would come up.
On average, what did you get? Just one? Or did
On
you
average,
get 2?
one. Yeah.
And then another thing which he said, which was really reassuring, was that he uses seeds well past their use-by date.
Oh, finally, this is great.
We went through and sorted out all the ones that were past their use-by date.
Mm-hmm.
And you mixed them all in together, didn't you? Because you're going to experiment with them in your wildflower area.
I mean, this wildflower area...
Interesting to see what happens with those.
It's either going to be a complete shambles of a mess, a beautiful mess, or it could be just stunning and I can be like Newton and I will come up with some great idea with flowers. I don't think it's going to be that one.
One of the things that's mentioned quite a lot is how important the social side is. So people who wouldn't normally talk to each other on the street do when they're working side by side. And we meet Shaheen, Derek and Carol.
Yeah.
They talked a lot about socialising. Shaheen said that what she learns there at the gardens, she takes home and uses in her garden.
Yeah.
And also there was some talk between Shaheen and Carol about how they learn about each other's cultures. And then she said, like, we had a pakora day.
That's really cool.
And then we made apple crumble. So 2 completely different cultural foods. Just lovely, though, isn't it? That's how it should be. Just live and let live. Everyone come together.
Completely.
Let's just share each other's cultures, not be divided, just be a big melting pot.
I love it so much. Like, I really enjoyed it because I had friends doing the Ramadan at the moment.
Yes, of course.
And I thought I was just really interested to know all about it. So whenever I'm chatting with him, I'm just like asking him questions like, what kind of...
Well, you mean you can't eat cake?
You can't eat cake?
Yes, panic written all over your face.
Oh no, can't eat cake. No, but I just find it so interesting to learn about all these different
Of course it
religions.
is. Of course it is. And then it was very sweet because poor old Derek said how he missed out on the apple crumble.
Oh, I felt sorry for him.
Nobody told me.
That sounds a lot like my granddad. He misses out on an apple crumble.
He wouldn't like that.
No.
Then we meet manager Jen White. She's busy in the kitchen with this amazingly full table of veg.
Crazy
your
amount of
own
vegetables.
Supermarket right there. Your own greengrocer right there.
I spotted because they didn't talk about any specific plants, but I was so happy to see really nicely written labels. And so the cameraman got these shots of the labels and I was like, pause. So there would be tomato cherry sweet million, tomato red cherry, lettuce Catalonia, perpetual spinach, Morton's secret mix.
Oh, yum.
There were all of these really amazing vegetables around the place.
Well, the thing I really loved, I'm sure you can imagine, was that fantastic sieve.
Wasn't that amazing?
Looked like a tombola, yeah.
I saw it, I was like, are you playing tombola?
I want one.
I want one.
And they described, I didn't catch the name of who was talking, but he said how they'd made it out of a couple of old cycle wheels, some mesh and some old greenhouse parts. And then Francis says, and the cost to make it? And they all looked at each other and said, a morning and some cups of coffee. That's all it cost them.
Yeah.
It's real sort of make do and mend kind of attitude there.
I love that. The only thing I got about that guy was great trouser straps.
Great trousers. Do you mean his suspenders?
Oh, is that what they're called?
What are they called?
The little
braces.
Braces. There we go. That's it. I couldn't find it, so I just thought trouser straps.
Well, he was the guy who had had 3 heart attacks and he was in hospital for 11 days.
That was awful.
And he came out and was tidying a lot of the things out of his garden, shed and garden because he felt he was never going to be able to do any of that again. It was just too dangerous. And he had all these shovels and spades and things and he was looking for somewhere to give them and then he called this place.
Yeah.
And now gets involved. So he's got his buddy Daz, I think it was, he can do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
So it meant that he could still be involved in the garden with less of the health concerns.
Exactly, and just absorb all this good energy.
Yeah. And at the end, Frances puts it perfectly when she says we should never underestimate the power that a garden can have.
No.
Well, Wibsey Community Gardens does most of its communication on Facebook. So again, I'll put a link to that, telling you all about what they've got going on, opening times, all that kind of thing.
Great.
And on there, I saw that they had been broken into. Do you remember Tuppenny Barn with that amazing Margaret from last year's Gardens World? And how they were broken into and had all their charity money stolen. Yeah. So this happened to these guys as well. It's just so disappointing, isn't it? But
That's
on
sad.
More of a positive, at the end of last year, they were told that they're going to receive more than £230,000 towards the maintenance of the gardens.
Brilliant.
So this is a government funding. So the government said the funding would secure the future of Wibsey Community Garden and go towards the renovation of this precious outdoor space to ensure it's fit for purpose for future generations. And this is part of a national £36 million funding for community projects under the government's plans to improve economic growth and raise living standards.
Oh,
so it's really great to hear that they got a piece of that.
Love that.
Monty's at the Long Walk.
He is.
Did you see that lovely green arched gate? I've never really clocked that before. Beautiful.
No, I haven't either.
And he talks about making the lawn there after he took all those box cones out. Something for the grandkids to run around on.
Exactly. And we were looking at it and it looked rather sad for itself.
Yeah,
when he'd created this really nice lawn and he was like, it's been compacted, it's rain, it's soggy, it's damp, it's cold, and it's in the shade.
Yeah.
So he was trying to aerate it to get some kind of nice air into it, to give it a little bit more drainage, because he said grass loves sun, rain, and good drainage. And I was just like, we have that, and our grass is looking pretty good. Plus the clover and the weeds and the dandelions.
Yeah. And he uses an aerator, and he said you can hire these, and it basically takes out plugs, doesn't it? And lets the oxygen get into the grass.
Wasn't it
you just
so
got all these plugs
satisfying?
lying around the floor. Yeah.
I loved it.
It looked quite brutal, didn't it?
It did look really brutal.
And then he said an alternative is using a fork, which is much harder work. But a couple of things I know of which aren't as heavy duty as an aerator thing that you hire and not as hard work as a fork is you can either get these things that you can strap to the bottom of your shoes, and they've got these long spikes, and then you can just walk around aerating.
From Crazy Stupid Love. With
That's in Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell, and he's
Steve
looking
Carell
after his wife's garden.
Exactly.
Death of the night. Oh,
that's really sweet.
And then another one is something your granddad has, which is basically like a long handle, and at the end of it is this roller, and that's got spikes all over it, and then you roller over the garden.
That's really cool. Or an idea I had, you know those
Pogo sticks.
Pogo sticks. It's brilliant. You must have thought what I was thinking.
No.
You put spikes on the end of that.
Your hand action. Immediately knew that's the international sign for pogo sticking.
Is that the international sign? I just thought you could put spikes at the bottom of that and start pogo sticking around the place. That would make it a great job for me to do.
You could try that, but I don't think this is relevant to us because we don't have a lawn as such. We just have an area of lovely weeds.
Which does have lovely trees on it.
Amazing trees.
Which takes us to the next bit.
Nick Phillips, near Cambridge, and his wife Hannah and baby Max, 5 months old.
So cute.
And Nick was talking about how they'd moved there about 3 years ago, and the entire area was covered in a membrane and some gravel.
Yeah.
In one of the driest parts of the UK, which we heard from Tom Hoblin.
Yes.
Was saying how dry Cambridgeshire is. And also underneath this membrane was just a lot of clay. So very tricky environment to work with.
Very difficult. I love it when gardeners take a very tricky environment and then it becomes this oasis afterwards.
Yeah. So did you get any, before we get onto trees, did you get any of the other plants?
Yeah, I did actually. He talked about one plant in particular, because otherwise I can rattle off all the trees later. Yeah. There was the Olympic mullein, which is the verbascum.
Yeah.
And that was enormous. This was in this gravel garden area, another gravel garden. I really love gravel gardens.
Me too.
I wonder if it's just because I'm being shown a lot of gravel gardens. Like it's just saying, see a gravel garden?
They're
Smile.
conditioning you, Sweet Pea.
They are conditioning me.
We're not making a gravel garden out of ours.
No.
We're on a hill. All the gravel would end up at the bottom.
Can you imagine you just
in
pour
the
it down? Goodbye, gravel. No, but this was a really beautiful, very majestic plant.
We had that. Do you remember? It's self-seeded near our laurel.
That's where I've seen it.
Fastidiously mowed around it because we didn't know what it was. We thought it was going to be a foxglove.
I'd watch you circle this mullein.
And it grew and grew and grew and grew. Beautiful. I hoped it would self-seed, but nothing came of it after that.
Meant to be really good for you, isn't it?
Very good for you if you use the leaves for tea. I can't remember, but liver. Good for the liver. Yes, that was it. Good for the liver.
Yeah.
And then he talks about trees. He said he's obsessed with trees. He's got about 30 to 35 different trees in the garden. Ooh. I loved how Hannah was saying they have a one in, one out policy.
Yep.
But then she scoots off on a hen do. Next thing, he's sneaking in a tree. I just love that. So he could be off having an affair, but he's too busy filling his garden with trees. So which trees did you get?
Well, he rattled off a whole load, making me want to become...
Did you have tree envy?
I wanted to become an arborist because all these trees just made me go, yes, I love those.
Yeah. I'm completely on board with packing your garden with trees.
Entirely. If I have the smallest space at university, I will have trees.
Sweet pea, you're not even going to have a balcony or a terrace. You can have a windowsill, and you can't have a tree on your windowsill unless you're getting a load of bonsais, and you're not, okay?
What?
Because you wanted to grow tomatoes on your windowsill.
True. You're going to come through my front door and you're going to be like coming through a rainforest.
Rainforest of tomatoes.
Tomatoes and trees. Right, so he had pomegranates. We did try those. Didn't fail. Spindle tree, that's a new one that we put in. That was one of our bare roots. Persian ironwood, haven't got that. Beautiful colourings. There was a wedding cake tree. Crab apple, dawn redwood, cherry, persimmon tree. Oh, we want to get one of those because persimmons are amazing and we have a great recipe.
And also I like when they fruit. So their fruits are kind of when all the leaves have gone on all the trees. And you'd be driving along and you suddenly see this extraordinary tree with what looks like a load of oranges on it, but it can't be because it's too cold for oranges.
Exactly.
And it's all the persimmons.
It's utterly amazing.
And they're so yummy.
Persimmon cake.
Oh,
to
so
die
good.
for. There was also a Salix magnifica, which has flowers like fluffy finger worms. Do you know what I mean by those?
No. Is that something you're just making up?
You know those fluffy finger worms that you would put through your fingers, and they were on like a line and they were really lovely.
Like on a fishing line, so you couldn't really see the line.
Exactly. They were really soft and fluffy with two googly eyes on the end.
I remember that from my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I need a finger worm.
I need to get you a finger worm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what the flowers were like, in a kind of pretty red colour, if I remember correctly. Then he also had a ginkgo, which was called Troll. Loved it. This was one of the little trees that he said you can have in a small area.
Cultivars.
Yeah, exactly. This just sprawled on a pot. I was like, that is not a tree.
Yeah.
That is a sprawler.
And a katsura, he also had a small one of those.
Called Global.
He had that column apple tree.
Yeah, so this was then also showing how you can shove a load of trees into a small space. And so that column apple or pillar apple tree growing vertically upwards, so you only get some fruit, but it's enough. Himalayan birches, 3 really close together, which gives you a multi-stem tree, which could be really expensive, he said.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Because it made me think of our silver birches that we've planted quite close, but not as close together as he did.
I mean, not like that. That was something else, but restricts the growth, which means it doesn't get huge in your garden, which is small. And then finally, his favourite
tree in the world.
And in his garden.
Yeah.
Paperbutt maple. I am on board with that. But there are some other trees. Like when you say, I've got a best friend.
Though, yeah.
I find it hard to say that. Same with trees.
That's why we've got a slight format issue with our chit-chats, because we only allow one statement tree.
We do.
When there are too many trees to put in a garden.
Still haven't chosen mine.
And then Hannah at the end says how she really loves what he's done in such a short space of time, and it was incredible. Only 3 years on, and that's what it looks like.
It's really lovely, and I think it'll be great for their son Max, as he talked about bringing him up in this beautiful oasis.
And leave a bit of a legacy in the garden.
Exactly.
Well, the reason Nick is so into trees... Well, I'm not sure, chicken and egg, what came first. He is Principal Forestry Policy Advocate at the Woodland Trust.
Really?
Which, can you remember who the patron is of that?
No.
Dame Judi Dench.
Oh my gosh, of course. Louis Theroux did a great interview with her. Yeah. She has loads of trees in her garden as well.
Yeah, she does. Oh, I loved that interview with her about her trees.
It was a beautiful interview.
There's an excellent YouTube video which Nick presents.
Oh, great.
All about how important it is that we have trees, why we need it for climate.
Yeah.
You know, all the things that trees bring to the table, which we know, we all know how brilliant trees are.
Of course.
But he really is on a bit of a crusade to try and get more trees grown in the UK. Because apparently we do have a serious issue. We don't have as many trees as other countries. Too many have been cut down. So I think Nick would be so great to talk to some more. I really want to hear more about the tree sitch. So I think we should try and see if we could get him on a chit chat.
Please.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Monty and Ned are having a contemplative moment on a rock in the garden.
Next to the wild cherry, which is huge.
And this, again, is what I love about Gardener's World. They were just chilling. There was no need for words for a moment.
That was really nice.
And then Monty talks a bit more about when you choose trees for your garden, and he uses his huge cherry trees, wild cherries, as an example. He's talked about that in a previous episode last year.
Yeah.
Of how it was a great idea at the time. Then they've just been far too big for his garden. And then we have jobs for the weekend.
Yes.
Prick out tomatoes.
Which I have done.
Yes. Prune hydrangea paniculatas.
Haven't got
don't
those.
have any. Can't. Too dry.
So sad.
Really sad. Cut back pelargoniums.
And make cuttings of any bits that you cut off.
Yeah. So, favourite plant?
Favourite plant was actually the tiny ginkgo troll tree.
Oh, really?
From Nick's garden.
Because you want that on your windowsill.
I do. And also I did rather love the fact that he was going to then tell his son how it was there when dinosaurs were around. And,
yeah.
Which kind of reminds me of how amazing it is.
Yeah. Incredible.
What was yours?
Well, mine was the asters from Stefano Marinaz's Matrix Garden.
Of course.
Church barn.
Yeah.
I know we've come across asters loads.
Yeah.
But I do really want to get more asters in the garden because of their late flowering, very late flowering.
And
I think
mass.
And I'd really like to bring those colours into our garden. So let's get some asters in ours.
Okie dokes.
And top takeaway?
Top takeaway was in Bradford with the amazing
Tombola
machine.
Well, that's mine as well.
Oh.
The compost sieving contraption at Wibsey. Also Monty's perfectly clean spades.
Oh, that's also a lovely thing to have.
Puts ours to complete shame.
Yeah.
And then we have Monty taking out quite a bit of Iris sibirica from the jewel garden. He says how it likes damp conditions as opposed to the bearded ones, which really struggle with that.
Yeah, whereas we can't have Iris sibirica, but we can have bearded irises.
And then he shows some bindweed roots. Talks about digging it out. And
yeah.
We have no hope.
No hope at all.
We just have to live alongside bindweed.
Yeah.
Next week.
Righty.
It's full steam ahead at Longmeadow for Monty, who is busy getting the garden summer ready. He's planning displays bursting with colour and scent, sharing some of his favourite foliage to create a tapestry of texture in shade and planting new and tasty soft fruit.
Ooh.
Adam Frost is in the Lake District, bathing in the dazzling spectacles of azaleas, rhododendrons and a striking collection of Meconopsis, the blue Himalayan poppy, in a garden run solely by volunteers.
That's amazing.
In a bid to learn more about successfully growing fruit and veg in her garden in the Peak District, Recca Mystery visits a local kindred spirit to compare notes on tried and tested fruits and vegetables to sow, grow and eat.
Oh, cool.
Meanwhile, there is a beloved delphinium collection belonging to Colin that he has dedicated his entire life to growing and perfecting. And there is a whistle-stop tour of Bedminster, Bristol to discover the secret gardens thrown open to locals just once a year.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Another good one to come. Right, Sweet Pea, I need a cup of tea.
I need to go finish off my new song that I'm writing.
Oh, yes, okay.
Moment. It's getting somewhere, which I'm really happy with.
Looking forward to it. All right, so bye-bye, Sweet Pea.
Bye, Mummy Bear.